this session will be recorded, but if you're in the right place, this is tips on speaking with employers at career fairs. Everyone should have gotten a handout. If you don't have one, Kara can give you one. Also, everyone should have signed in at the front desk. If you haven't, please make sure you do that before you leave. Alright, so my name is Darcy Jones. I'm one of the Assistant Directors for Career Coaching and Education here at UCS. That is my email address. Feel free to write it down. If you need to contact me for any reason, we are a resource here for you. And just a little bit about our agenda today. So I'll go over a few of our UCS-sponsored virtual fairs and events that are coming up. Also, I'll give you a brief overview of UCS, what we do, and our services. And then we will explore the value of gaining self-awareness and having high-impact experiences. We'll also be able to identify some resources that support you in your first steps. And then we'll leave some time at the end for questions and answers. But at any point during the presentation, if you have any questions, please feel free to stop me, just raise your hand, and we can answer those as we go. So a couple of our upcoming events. We have staying connected with employers after career fairs. So after you attend the career fair, you want to know, like, okay, how do I maintain these connections? This is definitely a presentation you want to attend. It's actually tomorrow at 4 p.m. and it's virtual on Handshake. And then September 27th, another virtual presentation on Focus 2, Career and Major Selection. I'll be leading that one as well. And then another one, September 27th, how I secured 3 consulting internships. And that's by one of our career peers who's a student in the B School. So if that's something that you're interested in, definitely encourage you to attend any of those. And you can register for all of those events via Handshake. Our upcoming career fairs, if you don't know, as you should, September 20th, from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m., we have our in-person career fair. It's at the Great Hall in the Student Union. And then September 21st, from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m., we have our virtual career fair on Handshake. You can register for both of these online. And so you all have a paper in front of you. If you want to go ahead and write in the date of the career fair that you plan to attend. And just a little intro to University Career Services and who we are. We are made up of 2 teams. We have our employer relations team and we have our student-facing team. I serve on the student-facing team as an assistant director of career coaching and education, and this is my team. As my supervisor, Tamara Taylor. She's the interim associate director and senior assistant director for career coaching and student belonging. And then my coworkers, Angelica, Jackie, Serena, and Shaman. We offer virtual and in-person appointments. Some of the appointments that we offer are career exploration and coaching, career and strengths assessments, cultural identity, job and internship search services, resumes, cover letters, CVs. Serena is in charge of pre-graduate and pre-law school advising, and she also has some graduate advisors that work with her. So if you're interested in graduate school or law school, I definitely recommend booking an appointment with her. We also do gap year exploration, career and internship fairs. We help with LinkedIn profiles and mock interviews. And also, if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, please make one and make an appointment and we can help you with that. But you can book appointments through us via Handshake. If you go to the UCS the main website, if you don't have a Handshake profile already, go to the UCS website. It's a tab that says book appointments and it'll direct you to Handshake and you're able to book any of the career coaches that you see and you can select any of these appointment types. We also offer appointments called What Can I Do With This Major for career exploration, and we also have an appointment called Style for Success. Style for Success is a stipend that we currently have. It's up to $300 for professional wear for students who are in need. But definitely check us out and take advantage of these free services that we offer. All right, so now we're going to look at that form that's in front of you. Everyone should have gotten one of these career fair to-do lists. So I just want you to take a moment and write down some of your career fair goals. and then we're gonna share out. So just take about 2 minutes, write out some of your goals of why you want to attend the career fair, what you hope to gain from the career fair. Just 1 or 2 goals. You don't have to fill out all 3. This is going to be like a very short activity. Then we'll get a couple volunteers to share out. Give it a few more minutes. All right, anybody ready to share? Go ahead.
I put internship opportunities and practice networking.
Thank you so much for that.
Just gaining experience in how to market yourself and practicing for like when I'm an upperclassman and going there to dress up and actually, market myself to players.
Cool. Are you a first year?
Yeah.
Okay, good start. Anybody else? Anybody else have something different that they wrote down? Go ahead.
I've learned about what skills or experiences companies are looking for.
Yes, definitely. Anybody else?
I just said discover different careers that can be associated with my degree.
Yes, that's good too. Anybody else? Thank you for participating. Those were all good responses, and definitely you can get all that from attending the career fair. And we'll go over some ways to plan and prepare for the career fair. So, 3 tips to maximize your career fair experience is to plan, prepare, and practice. As you probably have seen already on your worksheet, but we're gonna go through each one. So, to plan, you want to choose the time that works for you. Make sure you work around your class schedule. If you do have a class conflict, you should have talked to your professor a couple weeks in advance, but moving forward, now that you know, tell your professor in advance. Let them know, hey, the career fair is coming up. This is the only time I have free to go. Maybe I can make up the work in your class. Talk to your professors, let them know. They're more willing to let you go if you tell them way in advance and not the day before. And I know this timing wise, this isn't, the best time for that message, but moving forward, you'll know for next semester and things. Come prepared. Before the fair, you can review the online directory of employers and their job opportunities by logging into Handshake. So if you spend a little time getting some background on the organization, then you can ask very focused and specific questions. And this really impresses them. So I already come with questions written down about different employers that you're excited to chat with. Also, be flexible. The fair directory provides a brief summary of employers' opportunities and may have not been submitted by the same people who actually come to the fair. So some positions may no longer be available and other openings may have just emerged. No single employer or representative is knowledgeable about all positions available, especially in a very large organization. So just give them some grace. And some reps attending fairs are there to share their experience working at the organization and may not be involved in the hiring process. If the employer rep at the fair does not know specifically about the jobs or internships that interest you, ask the name of someone who can help you. Or then drop by the Career Center. We'll have a table, so you can always drop by our table if you have any questions or concerns about a particular employer. And then also, be sure to register, so that they already know that you're planning to attend. And then also bring a couple copies of your resume. If you haven't had your resume looked at by somebody, remember, we do that here in this office. You can book a resume appointment. So I definitely encourage you to do that as well so that you can make sure that your resume can be the best that it can be and have professional eyes laid on it. Any questions there? Go ahead.
You said you all have like a booth, but for the virtual one, will you guys have like a Zoom link?
You want to?
So there is gonna be like a student help desk to go and meet with some of our staff members. It's not gonna be the same, elaborate resources that we have in person, but there will definitely be someone you can talk to, for sure.
Where do you find that at? Like,
I believe, so everything's gonna be on Handshake, so the career fair is gonna be filtered through like the platform Handshake, so they have like different like rooms, if you click on it, it's kind of intuitive once you get into the system, if that makes sense, like once you log on to the career fair, but, yes, but if you have questions during it, feel free to like always email the front desk UCS@unc.edu, and they can also direct your questions as well. Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. And then step number 2 is to prepare. Some of the things that you could do to prepare, especially if you're attending the virtual fair, choose your location and try out virtual backgrounds. So you want to make sure you have a quiet background. You want to make sure, you don't have any distractions in the background. I say if you can be against a wall like this, that's like plain, that's even better. Then you don't have to put on a virtual background, but it's fine to use them as well. Just don't get ones that are like, too distracting. You want to minimize noise, anything that could distract you, cell phone, like music, even if it's like played softly in the background, you don't want that to distract you or the employer. Definitely for virtual, test out all your equipment and your Wi-Fi connection at least 30 to 40 minutes beforehand. That gives you time if your computer needs to restart, that it can go and get rebooted, check your audio, check your video to ensure that everything is working, so you don't have any hiccups there. For in-person, make sure you dress appropriate. First impressions are important. While campus attire is acceptable for fairs, you will probably be most comfortable if you at least dress in business casual. Allow yourself adequate time, come as early as possible. You may need to return between classes, and that's fine. Typically, fairs are the busiest during the lunch hour, so just plan for that. Also, fairs close promptly at the publicized ending time to accommodate employers' travel arrangements, so just keep that in mind, like, don't try to come the last 5 minutes because employers are going to be trying to get out of there. And they have other commitments as well, and so that advertised time is the advertised time. So just keep that in mind. As far as what to wear, we tell you professional dress, but professional is very cliche, like everybody defines professional dress differently. I just say, nothing too revealing, that's distracting for either parties, and just make sure that you feel comfortable. Also, once you arrive, if you're going in person, take a few minutes to review the map and the directory for the fair. You may feel more comfortable if you quickly locate and walk around the employers in whom you're interested in most. This will confirm their location and alert you to any crowds or lines so that you can make the most of your time. And then also, prioritize the employers that you're interested in first. Like if your schedule allows, you may find it easiest to start with the employers that you're less interested in, but if you know you're short for time, only go to who you're most interested in so you can maximize your time. And then third is to practice. You want to practice introducing yourself and giving your pitch, which we will go over your pitch, and everybody in here will get to participate in making and creating your pitch and saying it out loud. So when you do your pitch, you just want to introduce yourself, extend your hand and say hello. So you also want to practice your handshake, which is important as well. And then you want to take notes. When you inquire about the next steps of possibly joining this company or interviewing or just getting more details, like make sure you're taking notes. You're getting a business card from them, and so that you actually follow up. Make sure you ask thoughtful questions based on what you research. That's why it's important to do that research, find out more about the company, find out, what their mission is, if they're hiring, and then some of that stuff you can find out when you get there as well, but it's always good to do some research beforehand as well. All right, so we're going to jump into the pitch. The anatomy of the pitch is basically your name, the year you are, major, what you have done, what you want to do, and then asking a question of that employer. And so here are just two examples. Can I get a volunteer to read the first one that says, "Hi, I'm Mary"? Go ahead.
Say, hi, I'm Mary, thanks for coming to the fair today. I'm graduating in May with a degree in management and society, and I'm interested in your management development program. I saw posted on Handshake. I think it fits well with the internship in human resources I did last summer, as well as activities like training volunteers with the local literacy touring program I've been involved with here at Carolina. Can you tell me more about it?
So that pitch, she introduced herself. She said that she was a graduating senior. She listed her degree. She talked about how she saw their position online and basically how she's interested and it fits well with what she's done. So she talked about her experience. And then she asked a follow-up question at the end. And so that's basically what you want to do. Can I get a volunteer to read the "Hi, I'm Joe"? Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Joe. I'm an undeclared sophomore, and right now I'm just trying to learn more about the type of opportunities available when I graduate. I'm interested in working with people and enjoy being creative. So when I saw that you have a marketing internship, I wanted to combine and introduce myself. Could you tell me more about the position and what kind of experiences you're looking for in candidates?
And same thing with Joe. Joe introduced themselves. They talked about their year. They're undeclared right now. They're looking for opportunities when they're graduating, so they stated what they wanted, they stated what they enjoyed, and then they had that follow-up question. So, now it's your turn. So if you turn to the back of that worksheet, if you want to take a couple minutes, maybe like 5 to 7 minutes, you can go ahead and review the tips, and I want you to write your own, and then we'll present them out. So go ahead and start on your elevator pitch and just follow the outline above. If anybody gets stumped or have any questions, just let us know.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Is it okay if you put the other slide back up?
Yes,
Thank you.
no problem. And it's also another example down at the bottom too of that page that you're on.
It's just right there.
And so also guys, if it's easier for you where it says write it out, you can basically use that as a guide. So your name, year, program of study. Number 2, think academic or your work experience. Number 3, in terms of goals related to the organization or opportunity. And number 4, what do you want to know about that company? So you end with the question.
Yeah, definitely. We'll give y'all a couple more minutes. I'm gonna have everyone do their pitch.
It just really depends, like if there is someone in mind that we try, make sure that we have a lot of time. Just what we need is, like 30 seconds, they don't have one that opportunities with them. So it's not social distancing out there as much as they they're.
Anybody need a few more minutes? Just show by raising hand. Okay.
And that's the purpose of what we follow, that we have it, so don't follow their speed, like, right there. So, and really emphasis on your social media, social media, philosophy, like, no, like, how things in the house sometimes. So, again, conversation, whether it's email, we also have clearly, I see these guys,
go first? Or I can volunteer you.
I can go first.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Iman. I'm a first year computer science and biostatistics student. And after my research internship last summer where I analyzed PET and CT scans and antibody assay data using several softwares and Python scripts, I've become interested in positions related to data analytics and programming in healthcare. And your company caught my eye. Would you mind telling me a little bit more about what an ideal internship candidate at your company looks like?
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. Who's next? Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Kendall. I'm a sophomore majoring in biology. I enjoy researching and innovation, and in the future would love to be part of a company that promotes collaboration and discovery. Could you tell me more about the experience needed and opportunities within your company?
Perfect. Thank you, Kendall. Anybody else?
Hello.
Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Judy Chow, and I'm a senior studying statistics and analytics. Over the past year, I've had the chance to apply my skills in data science to a variety of applications, including neuroscience, sociology, and business. This past summer, I had the pleasure of interning at Kyndryl, an IT services company, and I was able to learn from some of the most innovative people I've met before. Following graduation in May, I hope to work with companies on their business problems by turning data into actionable solutions. My question for you is, what kind of career growth and development opportunities do you provide for new hires?
Yes, perfect. Who's next? Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Trace Glasby. I'm a first year computer science major. I'm looking to gain some insight on internships. Most companies have a department or program that works specifically with university students, and I'd like to know how I can get involved with your programs. I also wanted to ask what kind of experience or qualifications you're looking for in new applicants.
Perfect. Thank you. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Levi. I'm a freshman and prospective health policy and management major. I'm interested in becoming more involved in the digital health space, which I learned about through a healthcare boot camp at UNC recently. After hearing about the kind of work your company is involved in within the healthcare industry, I thought it'd be an excellent way to learn more about the applications in the workplace. Can you tell me a little bit more about the necessary skills involved in the healthcare workspace on a day-to-day basis?
Yes, perfect. Thank you. Anybody else? Y'all are rocking this. Y'all are ready. Anybody else before we move on? All right, well, the ones who shared, you did really well. All right, so here are some questions that you can ask employers, especially for graduating students. You can ask like, what do you think makes an entry-level candidate stand out? And so they can give you some feedback on, what skills that you should develop, what you should put in your resume, what you want to highlight that can make you stand out as a candidate for an entry-level position at that certain company. Another one is, what is a typical career path for employers who start in this position? And also, how long is the application process? What does it consist of? There are many different types of interviews and application processes, like some may be, an online application, and then you go through like a phone screen, then maybe a video interview, then a panel interview, then maybe a case study. There's so many different versions of getting in the door at different positions, so it's important to ask those questions to see like what's the process. And for our younger students, you can ask, are there internships available? What classes would prepare me to work for your company? Are there any activities or student organizations that would be beneficial if I wanted to work at your company? That's always important too, because it's really good to get involved right here on campus if you can, to help you stand out as a candidate. So definitely take this picture. These are some questions that you can definitely ask at the job fair. And these are some questions that employers might ask you. They may ask, how did you hear about our company? Why are you interested in working for us? And that's why I'm telling you to do that background research, so you have an answer for each employer that you meet with. You said you are involved in X, Y, and Z on campus. Tell me more about that. You said you have worked and volunteered at ABC. Tell me more about that. Why did you choose to go to UNC, and why did you choose your major? So be prepared to talk about the company, as well as talking about yourself and your passions, and why you chose the major that you chose, and also why you're trying to pursue this certain career path that you're on. And just some additional considerations You want to respect the employer's time and their materials and samples and any pamphlets that they give out. Some employers may bring large quantities of print materials or giveaways clearly intended for students to take. Other employees may only bring a few, and they just may have them displayed on the table, so that's when you may just need to take a picture of it. But always check with the employer before taking materials to make sure that it's okay, and that they have enough, to go around. And also just be courteous and conscientious. In addition to representing yourself, you also represent your department and the university. All the organizations at the fair are there because of their interest in hiring UNC students. Some representatives are UNC alumni. So demonstrate sensitivity to other students waiting to speak with employers by keeping your questions brief and offering to continue your conversation at a later time. Enjoy the fair and all the interactions with the employers, but let your positive attitude show. And follow up. Make sure you get their business card and actually follow up and send them an email, LinkedIn request, whatever that they said is appropriate. Because they may tell you, hey, look me up on LinkedIn, or hey, shoot me an email. Definitely follow up, keep that connection going. And especially if you have additional questions you want to ask, that's your opportunity to ask them. Any questions for me? Go ahead.
When you say keep the connection going, is there a way to do that that's like more organic than like kind of forced? Because if it's like a little forced, I feel like they won't really value that connection.
Just because the industry that they're in, they expect that. Coming to a career fair, they know that they're only gonna have brief conversations with students, and so they're gonna have to continue the conversation, so they expect you to wanna reach out, wanna email them with additional questions, or even just to set up an informational interview or a further conversation. So, they expect that, so don't worry about it, not being genuine or anything. That's what the employers expect. Karen, did you wanna add anything to
Yeah, I
that?
was just gonna say, yeah, and feel free, because these employers are on Handshake all the time, and you can actually see the employers attending the career fair right now, whatever day that you choose. So I highly recommend you doing, like Darcy said, your research beforehand, and go ahead and start preparing those questions, especially for the companies that you really wanna talk to. And you can actually message them through Handshake. So even if you wanna go ahead, like today, and just message them, even if they don't necessarily respond, you're always, you communicating to them is gonna show that initiative, and you following up too. So just don't be afraid to go the extra mile and follow up, because they're not necessarily gonna follow up with you. You kinda have to, make that effort.
Any other questions that we can answer? If you all don't mind scanning and completing the survey before you go, we really appreciate it. Karen and I will stick around if you have any questions. We're still in here till about 3:45. So yeah.
And don't be afraid to talk to an employer that you might not necessarily think that you align with, because honestly, pretty much all of the employers are looking for pretty much all majors, unless it's a very niche thing. Even if it's like a computer science major, if you have the skills and the interest to kind of put forth the effort, they will hire you. So you kind of have to, again, show that effort, but don't be afraid to even talk to them, because you never know what opportunities will be there. But yes, don't be afraid to reach out to us with questions. We'll be there to answer those. Also, there's cookies on the way out. Feel free to grab some.
Thank you.
Good job, Darcy.
Thank you. Grab as many cookies as you want.
Yeah, just take the lid off. You can take it off. Oh, yes.
If anybody wants me to go back, if you want to take a picture of anything, just let me know.
A lot of especially computer science. Yeah, that's great. Love it, yes.
picking up a minor, or possibly doing some volunteer work and looking for an internship to make your way into that career. So that's all you really gotta tell them, that you're trying to navigate to get some experience in that career, but you don't have it, but you really have passion.
So just be gentlemen.
Definitely.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you all for coming.
Yeah, just be like, I don't have.
Thank you.
experience, but
You're
it's
welcome.
only
Y'all have a
because I
great day.
You
I
too.
haven't had like the opportunity to like,
You know, that come up
Yeah.
after or whatever, same type of thing, you know, if you
oh, I have experience, but I'm doing
after,
this. Cause I'm like, oh yeah, they want, they're just getting 40 CS goals, they're going to workshops and stuff like that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
You're welcome. Y'all have a great day.
You too.
How are you doing, y'all?
Involved up